Let me ask you something. How many dreams have you quietly buried? Not because they were impossible, but because something inside told you, I'm not ready. I'll probably mess it up. What if I fail? Again, that voice didn't scream. It whispered, but the damage was loud. This is what self-sabotage looks like. It doesn't always show up as laziness. Sometimes it's disguised as perfectionism, as endless planning, as waiting for the right time. But deep down, it's fear. Fear of not being enough. Fear of being seen. Fear of finally becoming the version of you you've only imagined. Think about the last time you almost leaped. Maybe it was applying for a job, starting that project, opening up to someone. You felt the pull, but just before you acted, your mind stepped in. It's not the right moment. Let me fix a few more things first. Maybe next month the truth. That moment when inspiration meets hesitation, that's the battlefield of your dream. The longer you pause there, the louder the sabotage becomes. You say you want it. The dream, the shift, the life you keep imagining. But when the moment comes to take a step, you pause. You delay. You find a valid reason to wait. And it doesn't feel like sabotage. It feels like logic, like being realistic, like protecting yourself from failure. But here's the quiet truth. Most people don't destroy their dreams with big, loud failures. They do it silently by overthinking, by perfectionism, and by telling themselves they're not ready yet. You're not lazy, you're afraid, and that's okay. But you're also tired, aren't you? Tired of standing in your way, tired of watching life pass while you prepare to live it. So let's talk about the small ways you've been blocking your magic, and how to stop today. Because your dream isn't gone. It's just waiting for you to move. You've probably felt that push-pull inside you. One part is fired up, inspired, and clear. The other part whispers, but what if you fail? Self-sabotage isn't obvious. It wears 1,000 disguises. Procrastination, over-planning, waiting for the perfect mood. Take Sarah, a writer I once coached. She dreamed of finishing her novel, but every night she'd find something else urgent. Laundry, scrolling, a podcast about writing, but never the writing itself. She thought it was the discipline she lacked, but it wasn't. It was fear. See, the brain loves familiarity. Even if you're miserable, it would rather you stay in the known than risk the unknown. So every time you inch toward growth, your mind tries to protect you. It doesn't mean you're broken. It means you're human. The first step, notice the pattern. Catch yourself in the act of pulling away from the very thing you want, not with sham, but with awareness. Because once you see it, you can change it. Here's the lie most of us were taught. If you're not doing it, you must not want it enough. But you do want it. You just haven't felt safe enough to go after it fully. Think about it. If your dream is tied to your identity, failing feels like a threat to your worth. That's not laziness. That's survival mode. Here's what changes everything. Instead of attacking your resistance, try curiosity. Instead of judging your hesitation, try compassion. Ask, what part of me is afraid right now? You'll be surprised by the answers. Maybe it's your 10-year-old self who got laughed at for trying. Maybe it's the version of you who once failed and never fully recovered. You don't have to shame those parts. You have to guide them. Because when your fear feels seen, it starts to calm. This is the shift. You stop bullying yourself into action and start walking yourself there, gently. One small, safe step at a time. You don't need a master plan. You need a move. The biggest dreams collapse under the weight of over. You spend months mapping, preparing, and researching, and then you burn out before you ever begin. Why? Because perfectionism is just fear in fancy clothes. Let's go back to Sarah. Once she agreed to write bad pages instead of perfect ones. She finally finished her first draft in 3 months. She called it permission to suck. And it was her freedom. Because clarity doesn't come before action, it comes from it. Want to launch your business? Post something messy. Want to heal your body? Start with a walk. Want to change your life? Let it be awkward. Your nervous system will scream, this isn't good enough. That's okay. Do it anyway. The people who win aren't the ones who wait until they're ready. They're the ones who show up scared, imperfect, and unsure, but they show up again and again. Here's the real win. You don't just stop sabotaging your dreams. You become the person who protects them, not through force, but through patience, care, and daily bravery. It's not about waiting until you're confident. It's about trusting yourself while still unsure. Think of the person you admire, the one who makes things happen. No, we realize this. They didn't start that way. They built that version of themselves, one uncomfortable decision at a time. And so can you. Today, instead of asking, why do I keep ruining it? Ask, what's the tiniest action I can take today to support this dream? And take it. Maybe it's a 5-minute task. Maybe it's deleting a distraction. Maybe it's telling someone what you're building. But do it, not for the result, but to show yourself, I'm not abandoning this anymore. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be committed. You're not broken. You're not behind. You're just ready for a new relationship with yourself, where fear gets heard but doesn't run the show, where mistakes are part of the path, not a sign to quit, where your dream becomes less of a burden and more of a home you return to daily. You're not self-sabotaging because you're weak. You're self-sabotaging because you're scared. But now, you're choosing to be brave instead. Let this be the day you stop abandoning the life inside you. Because here's the truth. You were never lacking. You were just waiting for the moment you'd stop fighting yourself and start trusting your steps. That moment is now.